Hey, I'm going to read a little more from my novella, Daughter of Darkness, Grand Theft Life. And I'm going to read from chapter 27, page 61. Just a page and a half. I found my fresh punk boy Maze from the legendary fight at Uma's apartment. He was sitting there at the bottom of Pill Hill in his patched black jeans and chucks, enjoying his salsa verde, curbside by the taco truck which often parked in front of the grocery outlet. You could wash down killer burritos with Mexican Coke and construction workers. Real sugar and glass went scarce when NAFTA took it south of the border, the outsourced slave labor for meager wages agreement. U.S. soda conglomerates packed up their operations and relocated to prop up their already thick bottom lines on the balance sheet. Americans were left with high fructose corn syrup and soda water bottled in poisonous, plastic, cancer-by-the-sun containers, and only corner stores in the bodegas stocked the original glass sugar and soda water with the unaccosted carcinogen of all these years, caramel color. I was amused. Jack had been pushed down Pill Hill by Jill. He didn't recognize me at first, but when I pushed my stunners up to my forehead and stood in front of him, he did. His eyes followed my legs up to my short shorts, and he said, "Hey, aren't you the girl who pulled that chick off of me?" "That's me." "Hey, thanks a lot." "Sure. I would do it again, too." "You live around here?" "Kinda, sorta." He took off his sweatshirt, folded it, placed it on the curb next to him. "Here, why don't you sit down? I'm sorry, I never got your name." "Aim." "That's a nice name. Care to share my burrito with me?" I sat down. He put the plate on the sidewalk between us, then took a plastic knife and began to cut off the folded end of the tortilla. I put my hand over his. "Wait, that's too much," I said, and guided the knife and replaced it. I was about to pull my hand back, but he swiftly and adeptly rolled his hand over mine. We cut into the juicy occasion. Mays introduced me to the lower bottoms and did circles around me on his skateboard. If we found a lot with a nice embankment, I would stop and watch him skate it. He knew all the tricks in his head and could execute a few. He fell down a lot. I was especially impressed by his cross-footed half-truck hook impossible caught into a no-handed 50-50, a variation on the broken fingers without hands so you won't break any. We became more than friends pretty quickly. The first time we hooked up in his apartment, we came together. The synchronicity was exceptional. To call him my lower bottom's booty call wouldn't do us any justice. More like my lost boy. We both were kind of lost in the world, and we roamed together days and nights when we did not want to be alone. Better to roam together. Safer. Less likely to be singled out on the streets of Oakland. Less likely to be taken off of planet Earth by a BART cop, like Oscar Grant on that sad New Year's Day the city should never be allowed to forget. Mays knew the stretch of land west past MLK and San Pablo and the Greyhound bus terminal, where all the orphans hung out begging a ticket to Portland, Oregon. Transient Central Station. The sociopaths stopped up there on their way to pay homage to the Green River Killer, and maybe stay for lunch. Portland was dreary enough meteorologically, so why go any further? Nevertheless, no one at the filthy Greyhound terminal there under the highway at the sad encumbered gateway to downtown Oakland, via Ray Peretti's sign shop and the Social Security office, hanging food stamp and Medi-Cal lines out like legs, was going to get a free ticket to anywhere unless they knew how to juggle stray cats lying down, or had a bindle of some dope to exchange for one, or were willing to soften a Greyhound bus seat on their back as a means to get patched in by a terminal service worker on break, feeling frisky. Absolutely nothing was ever free in this part of Oakland, but you, yourself, might be expected to cost nothing.